Welcome to the top 5 hardest climbs of the 2023 Tour de France. We're going to have an epic battle between Pogačar and Vingegaard, hopefully with Pogačar's wrist healing up quite well. You never know, Remco might drop after getting COVID, but we'll see. Unlikely. Coming in at number 1 is Col de Loz from stage 17. What do we have here? It's an absolutely massive climb. Last featured in the 2020 edition of the Tour de France, stage 17. It was previously won by Miguel Angel Lopez. And it has a Cormet de Rosalind right before it. 3 strong, heavy climbs, and then an absolutely massive finisher. It is 28 Ks at an average of 6%. That's a long time to be climbing by 5%. It has ramps in it of 9K at 7%, 10.2K at 8.5%. We would not want to be climbing this one. And as you can see here, the third quarter is the toughest part with 13%, 11%, 10%, 11%. If you're running around a track 400 meters, you know the third quarter is the hardest. The third quarter is the hardest here as well. It's definitely going to be one for GC classification and should define the stage. Next up, coming in number 2 is Grand Colombier, last used on stage 15 in 2020 and won by Pogačar. It features those classic switchbacks we all know and love from the Tour de France. It totals 18 Ks at 7%, and it's right at the finish of the stage. It should prove to be the decisive finale to stage 13. There's multiple stretches in there of greater than 9%, and it'll be a loud wake-up call. You have this one climb, Col de la Liebe, right beforehand, just to tire the legs out a little bit, and then it's just straight up. It's a classic for the tour. It's well known, and it has a varied profile. So you got here the first quarter being quite hard, 10%, 12%. Could be a good place for an attack right at the start there, and then a pretty consistent 6% gradient over those switchbacks. Coming in at number 3 on stage 6 is Col du Tourmalet, which was last featured in 2021 at an altitude of 2,115 meters above sea level. It's the highest of the Pyrenees, but it's not the highest for the Tour de France this year, which is Col de Alos in the Alps. The Tourmalet is the most vivided summit of the Tour de France. It's right in the middle of the stage, so that's why it maybe didn't take our top slot, but stage 6 Col du Tourmalet is another classic. It's a brutal 17K at 7.3%. and it ranks lower for us because of its middle profile. It is the most consistent of our climbs at 7%, and as you can see here, it's just 7% basically the entire way. Huge GC gaps probably won't form, but it is the first major climb of the tour. Coming in at number 4 is stage 14's Col du Jour-Plein at an altitude of 1,700 meters, as you can see on that sign, last used in 2016. It has Col de la Ramaz right before it. It's been used a total of 12 times by the Tour de France since its debut in 1978. It's incredibly difficult. 11.7K at 8.5% right before what could be a hectic descent finish, depending on if brakes start or finish or not. The stage is in the middle of a strew of stages with arduous climbs, and the rider's legs should be aching well before starting this stage, if they weren't already. Another one where the third quarter is the hardest. You can see there the ramps go above 13% at certain places, and it's going to be a tough one for the riders. Finally, we have Puy de Dôme. It was last used 35 years ago, and it's featuring on stage 9 of 2023's tour. Takes the 5th slot from Col du Soudet of stage 5, which we also debated. While Col du Soudet is harder and has more climbing involved, the steepness of the Puy de Dôme, as you'll soon see, led us to take it as number 5. It is consistently above 10%, and it is right at the finish of the stage, so it should prove to be an exciting finale to the stage. Overall, though, we're excited for the Tour de France. We hope you are too. Please subscribe, like, and follow us on our website at procyclingbets.com.